Welcome to Podsauce. I'm Dax Holt.
I am Alesha Renee.
You look different today, Alesha. What's going on?
Am I right?
Put your hands a little lower. Put them on your pillow. Working remote. How did you get time to work remote?
I had a bad bout with gas, and I thought I'd spare you and just do this one, phone this one in.
Oh, that is funny.
I'm
miss
on
you.
location, but the show goes on. You know how we do.
Oh, man. Well, I miss you. See, look. I put my hand. There you go.
Wait, did I do it right?
It's something like that.
Oh.
All right, let's talk about our show today because I'm stoked. We have a huge podcast coming in that both you and I love. Yes.
Oh my gosh. It's always the husband.
It's always the husband.
Geeked for this interview. I mean, because it is always the husband. I don't have one yet, but I got to make sure I choose right. And every episode lets me know, you know what, these red flags, I need to stop ignoring these red flags.
These two women are so funny. I think having them in person and we get to talk to them personally, I'm stoked.
We need to go to a dinner party or whatever. We need to do all the things with them. But yeah, It's Always the Husband. Megan and Sarah, host of It's Always the Husband podcast. They're going to be on with us today. I can't wait. You're going to want to stick around. And you got like a good odd pod for us today.
I do have a good odd pod for you today. And here's the thing. I haven't always listened to the odd pods because, Angie will come and say, oh, check out this pod. And so this one I haven't checked out. But reading it, I'm into it already. So the odd pod is, what was that like? All right. It's hosted by Scott Johnson. It's firsthand true stories by people who have lived through crazy stuff, like someone who has lived through a plane crash, a mass shooting, a bear attack, a train derailing. And it's these people that I'm like telling their stories, and I'm in. I am 100%
I'm like, D, you haven't made time to listen to that? Let me.
I just found out about it a couple minutes ago, so I haven't heard this one. But here's some of the other episode titles, all right? Because there's like 85 episodes, a ton. But Robin drove the Wienermobile.
Huh? Now you lost me.
Yeah, Shireen, who was rammed by her own car. Dave won $113,000 on a game show. Someone who was struck by lightning. Emily, who was caught as a drug mule. Tell me that doesn't sign me up. And then there's Max, who got a deal on Shark Tank. But I've been there, done that.
I'm like, light flex. Been there, done that, got the check, keep it pushing. Jeez, light flex. I'm not mad at that.
So that one is
what's
called.
The name of that podcast
Yeah, it's called What Was That Like? I'm into it though. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Angie. I'm excited about this one. Again,
I need to write that down. Where did my pen go?
Not every podcast have we already listened to. This one I haven't, and I'm into it. So I'm gonna watch it for sure.
Well, guys, don't go anywhere because we got more next right here on Podsauce. That's a good one. I have to check that one out, D.
Welcome back to Podsauce. It is that time of the day, Leisha.
It's that time. What's the tally? Me up and you down?
I don't even know. I feel like I've lost count. We've been sitting here doing our picks for a while. It's probably a tie about this point, right?
No. Winner, chicken dinner.
Okay, you're right.
Hard
I'm
pass.
totally dominating. All right, so
How dare you?
Let's hear your pick of the week.
My pick of the week is Holding Court with Eboni K. Williams. And I can't stress this enough. Avi, what did I go to school for?
To be a lawyer?
Get into it. Look who pays attention. Denise has taught you well. Listen when the women are talking. But no, like Holding Court with Eboni K. Williams. I love the way she breaks down not just the legalities and current events, but she also talks about Brittany wanting to replace her lawyer and the conservatorship. And she just makes the legal jargon more palatable for us. Because she talks like how we talk to each other.
So people can understand what they're saying.
She gets rid of all the legalese, and it's just like, yo, this is why it's important. And this is why it's important to make sure that who you give power of attorney to is this type of person. You know what I mean? Like she goes to that route. But she also talks about, what's another thing that would make it just more universal and not just Obviously George Floyd, she's covered George Floyd, but not even necessarily from not just the humanistic perspective of it, but just in the legal way that just breaks it all the way down so you understand. And obviously, as a woman of color, she has her own perspective and you can hear her perspective, but she has a really good way of, with finesse, playing devil's advocate. So you don't feel that it's heavily biased, which I can appreciate.
I think the whole Britney topic is such a big one. It's one of those topics that the world is talking about. So I'd be interested to tune in and listen to it from a lawyer's point of view. Just what can she actually do? What does that conservatorship prevent her from doing? I mean, we kind of hear bits and pieces and, you know, how the media has twisted the narrative on that. So to hear it from a lawyer's point of view, I'm interested to tune in.
And why it's such a big thing. Why is it such a big deal? You know, yeah, we look at it on its face and on its surface, and we want everyone to have free agency over their person. And you know, unfortunately, there are some times and in some situations where it is good to have people in place that you love and trust to help get you through if you find yourself in a space where mentally you need a break and you can't make certain decisions. Right. But it seems as though she's been in this situation for many years now where it's now gone beyond what she has personal control over. And so Eboni K. Williams just has a great way of breaking down the innings, the inner workings of what's going on. And it's palatable for us. You want to listen to her. She's super engaging. I think she's only like 37, 38. So, you know, she's in our age demo and, you know, we can hear it. We can just, it just, you got to check it out. Holding Court with Eboni K. Williams.
I'm writing it down. I'm writing it down.
Wow. It's because I talked about Britney. You're heavily invested. Don't do it. You're heavily invested in
my whole career has been around entertainment news, and a lot of those years were covering Britney. So that to me is
fair.
A fascinating topic that never seems to go away.
Well, as a businessman, she has this episode that's titled "You Should Know This Before Signing on the Dotted Line." And I'm very grateful for my lawyer and my agents because I read all of my contracts before they even go back and negotiate on my behalf. Because what did I go to school for again, Dax?
To be a lawyer.
You got to get up a little earlier in the day to try to trick old mama because I bees on it. But Holding Court, Eboni K. Williams, if the name sounds familiar to you, it's probably because you watch Real Housewives of New York, because she's also on that show as well. So that's my pick of the week.
That's awesome.
Holding Court with Eboni K. Williams.
All right, well, don't go anywhere. We got a whole lot more coming up on Podsauce. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to Podsauce, guys, your podcast discovery show. Now, I know we say this quite often about so many of our guests, how excited we are for them to join us. And we are, especially being new kids on the block. But let me tell y'all something. When I tell y'all I'm so excited about our next guest, I want them both to be my new BFFs. Guys, I want you please give a good Podsauce welcome to Sarah McDermott and Megan Nelson of It's Always the Husband.
Alesha and I have been talking for the last couple days. The excitement in this room over your podcast. We listen to a lot of podcasts, and that's not a joke. I mean, that's literally our job, so listen to podcasts. Yours really stood out for us. And I know Alesha is a huge, true crime fan, but then you add in this element of humor and sarcasm. It makes your podcast on a whole nother level. It really does. How did you guys come up with the concept to do funny true crime?
Thank you. That's, really, really nice to hear. That's really so kind of you. You really don't put true crime and, comedy together unless maybe you're a sociopath, I think, some sort of crazy person. But it's really how we just talk to each other about the shows we watch. And we are huge podcast fans. We've been, since Serial really kind of picked up, when people really had no idea what a podcast was. I remember watching Saturday Night Live and they did a Serial spoof. And I remember thinking, what is what is this that everyone is talking about? And we just became addicted. And then really that's how we talk to each other. How we talk on the podcast is we just speak to each other that way all the time.
We're foul mouthed.
Yeah. We are.
And incredulous most of the time. And it's just, we would watch and listen to, true crime stories. And then we'd be like, what the hell is wrong with this lady? Or, this guy is, a complete crazy. And
Yeah, a million red flags, but you
yes.
still say, let's give it another chance.
And
let's keep going. Yeah.
We've had our own red flags too, so we like to talk about
Yeah.
that. And you know, we just totally missed them and kept on going with our
Right.
poor choices, poor choices.
Yeah.
And I was
Yeah.
dying laughing just at just the approach that you guys take with the shows that you're talking about. But you had this, I think it was that episode, because like I said, I've listened to like 6 of them, so they're all mumble jumbled in my brain. But I think the thing that resonates with me as far as why I love it, because I too, like Dax said, like I love crime. Serial was my first foray into podcasting. I'm a comedic actor. But you guys talk like how I talk with my girlfriends. And I think that that's what makes it so good, because it's not edited. It's not like all prim and proper. It's like, okay, so he had one wife missing and then another wife is missing and he's the last one standing. Maybe it's him. He might have done it. Like, what are we even talking about here?
Common denominators.
The
right?
police will still say she ran off with did she have a boyfriend and run off with them? No.
But her mascara is still in the bathroom.
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing? Like, she left her kids, she left her purse,
No.
and we all know we're not leaving anywhere without our things. We're gonna take our monies.
You know, it's funny, Alesha, because you say like that's how you talk to girlfriends, but your guys' humor also, I would say, translates over to men, because it's so funny. And again, you're very crass and you're just to the point, and that's why I loved it. The self-deprecating humor though, like, cracks me up so much in these episodes, because you guys will do a good, like, I don't know, 30 minutes of just banter between yourselves, talking about things in life, what makes you happy, craziness, and I think that is the funniest part. Normally, I would like fast forward through that to get to the true crime, but I'm like, no, there's too much gold within that first 20, 30 minutes that I'm like, I can't fast forward. You know, I don't know. I just, are you guys getting a lot of feedback from your audience being like, that is the most relatable part?
That is what they say. Like, it is very strange to just be, you know, we just started this. I mean, really, it's just, we didn't know if anyone would listen at all. But we just thought, okay, let's try it. We can maybe do this, or for fun, is something to do. I mean, in Minnesota, I just needed something to do. And having people listen and respond, and then will send us messages of they've seen that show, or, you know, my taste in shows is so opposite of hers, you know, and she hates everything I like, and, you know, He-Man or whatever. And I've gotten so many Netflix He-Man things, you know, and I'm like, oh,
I never know what she's talking about, but people love it, and and they laugh at our favorite music and relate to it. And when you ripped apart Beauty and the Beast, people were dying. They were like, why are they wearing Renaissance clothes underground? I mean, like,
there was parts that I'm like, I can't believe I'm laughing at this, but this is hilarious stuff. Like,
you know what it is? It's the conversations that they're saying out loud, what we say to ourselves or to our friends. Like, that's what makes it very relatable. And I think what makes it appealing to me, more specifically just as a woman, is just how unabashed they are, and how you ladies are in speaking in talking about your opinion, right? It reminds me of the show. I did the show on MTV called Girl Code and Guy Code, and it was probably one of the most freeing shows I ever did, because we do care about does size matter? Yes, it does. You know, and all of these other things, because people look at women like we're supposed to be just all demure and prim and proper. It's like, no, like, he's a freaking idiot. I have to edit myself. You don't. But he's a freaking idiot. Like, why would he do that? You know what I'm saying? Like, because we say that.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Like we said, we have 5 marriages between us. We've made these terrible mistakes. You know,
I have to do the math.
We know a total dumbass when we see it, because we married.
But yet we're still drawn to them. I don't know.
But life's too short to, you know, pretend. Really is. You know, you just have to be yourself, and
we're
go
also
with it.
Our real life jobs at the deodorant factory. We're censoring ourselves all the time.
Right.
Like, the running commentary in our head is just
foul.
It's very foul. But so this is the time when we can let it go. And we're best friends. We've been best friends forever. So that banter is real. We never script anything. We just sit down and talk. And we try not to talk about things before we actually record so that it's genuine and real. And so when I'm cackling, it's true. Like I'm peeing my pants cackling. I've been doing it for 15 years. She's the funniest person on earth. Yeah.
Yeah. So we literally write it when it comes out of our mouth. So
what do you guys feel like is the funniest episode you've recorded? That like if someone is going to check you out, that this is the episode, your golden episode to send people to.
Well, she asked me that, and I have one. It's called Double Mustache Wedding because the wife's mustache was bigger and more full than the husband's. Yeah, and I couldn't get past it. Really, could not get past it because I thought she must not have any friends to say, "Hun, you know, you got to do something here." You have a full dark mustache
with waxing,
top selling,
bleaching.
Yeah.
You guys, I'm telling you, this podcast is so funny. I can't recommend this podcast enough. It is so good. What podcasts are you guys listening to? Because I'm assuming your sense of humor is like mine. So I got to imagine whatever you're listening to, I would want to listen to.
Well, ones that are similar to ours that we have loved for a long time, A Date with Dateline. So these two girls watch Dateline. They're set in LA and do kind of the same thing, comment on, you know, the red flags that were there forever. In Small Town Murder, these two guys from Arizona who are comedians and are hilarious. We saw them live. And we're in heaven watching them. But then like I like straight true crime. Case File was actually, I think, our first that's from Australia, and that's a big one. But I think we became really hooked on Case File. There was an episode right in the beginning about Catherine Knight, who was the woman who literally skinned her husband and hung it up, and police officers thought it was a shower curtain and it was a skin.
Oh my God.
And
this is what we used to do like on our girl weekends.
Yeah.
So we would drive up to Duluth or whatever, and we'd put on Case File, and then we would just scream in the car like, "You idiot! What are you doing?" And so, I mean, that's how it started. Yeah.
Do you ladies have any plans to take this show on the road so we can get this energy in person, or do I have to come to Minnesota and invite myself out to dinner with the two of you? What are we doing?
Well, you can come to Minnesota anytime you want.
Come on
we don't have much, but
God, it sucks here.
We'll start talking with a Minnesota accent, and your friends will be concerned.
We would love to.
Yeah.
We're just like, right now we just hopefully, we're hoping that it will grow and spread and that we can get to a place. I saw My Favorite Murder live a few years ago, and it was like, oh, this is what I want to be. God, I want to be Georgia and Karen so bad. We would love to, but we're just moms and teachers and
Thank you guys. And if you want to check out, obviously, It's Always the Husband, you can head on over to podsauce.com. We have all the links, the direct links to some of the episodes we've mentioned here. But this was probably one of my favorite interviews. Can you agree with that?
Definitely one of my favorite interviews. Do not go anywhere, guys, because we got more. This is Podsauce.
All right, this is Podsauce. Welcome back. Man, this show went by so fast, Leisha.
Well, because when you're having fun, it just zooms right on by. And listen, Sarah, Megan, from It's Always the Husband, because it is. Thank you guys so much for your time. I am definitely going to take you ladies up on the offer when I go to Minnesota. Did I do that right? Minnesota. I'm taking y'all up on dinner and laughs.
Don't go without me. I'm going to be really mad if you go and hang out with these ladies by yourself.
I am. It's going to be no boys allowed because it's always the husband. We don't want that energy, okay? All husbands, stay at home.
Stay away. Stay far away. Now, if you guys are interested in any of the podcasts or specific episodes that we talked about in today's show, head on over to podsauce.com. We'll have links for you that take you directly to that podcast or that specific episode. We make it super easy for you. And we also got our newsletter. We got our newsletter out. Exactly. So you can put in your little email address and we'll deliver it to your email box.
Not put in your little email address. You can put in your email address. Your little email address. You can put in your email address. And like Jack said, we're going to shoot you over our newsletter. It's Always the Husband. Thank you guys so much. You can also get our picks on there, podsauce.com. Dax, is that your name?
I am Dax Holt.
I'm Alesha Renee. Until next time, be good to yourself.